Ever had a big fish bite you off? Or find yourself wasting time retying rigs when you could be fishing? In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 quick and easy Paternoster rig hacks that are going to save you time and frustration. So, for those of you who may not have seen a paternoster or dropper rig before, it simply consists of a sinker at the bottom of the rig and your dropper coming off further up with your hook attached to it. It's for suspending bait off the bottom, and it's fantastic for presenting live bait in deep water. So, that is the traditional dropper rig, and we have another blog on tying this as well. The reason why we use 2 strands coming off as part of the loop, because we simply slide the hook on and off nice and easily, so you can change your hooks. And it's not just the only reason. We also do it this way because a lot of the fish that we target up here have very abrasive mouths, like the barramundi. And that gives us that little bit of extra strength for wearing and rubbing against their mouths, basically. Now, there is a little bit of a hack, and the first hack is we can slip this hook off here for a minute. Now, if you've got fish that are a little bit finicky and they don't like big bulky rigs like this, because this kind of thing that we fish for barramundi is generally in darker, dirtier water, and they don't really get to see the leader too much. But out in offshore waters, there could be species that are just a little bit finicker. So what we do is, where we have that loop coming off the main dropper, we just get the bottom one and we snip it off and leave about 5 millimeters of the existing tag. Now, what we have there now is a single strand. We don't have the double anymore. So what we can do now is simply tie the hook to the end of that line using a uni knot or one of the various blood knots. And we have other blogs as well on those too. But one little thing to note is with the dropper that comes off the main line, you don't have it too long. Really, about 7-8 inches is plenty, because what happens then is if you have it way too long, it's going to tangle around your main line. But keeping them shorter is all you really need, and it stops a lot of that tangling, especially when there's not much run. Now, another little hack with dropper rigs, this is more for when you're offshore in much deeper waters. We do it a little bit differently inshore around the shallows, which we have another blog on, especially for getting sinkers and that stuck in rocks and things in the shallow waters. But when we're out in deep offshore waters, the current chops and changes, and it can vary from hour to hour, especially out in those really deeper waters near the shelf and that kind of thing. So what we do out there is, instead of attaching your sinker using a uni knot or a blood knot and it's just pulled down tight, which means you've got to cut it each time you want to change it, all we simply do is on the end of the leader, we simply just tie, it can be a granny knot, perfection loop, doesn't really matter. Just tie a generous size loop, trim the tag off, and that way, if you want to go up to a larger sinker, you can simply do this. Get the tag, fold it over, push the loop through there, and then we just fold it over the sinker and pull it up tight like so. So that's all you have to do. And if the run changes later and you want to go back a bit lighter, or you need to go heavier again, you just bring your rig in, push that loop back through, take your sinker off, and attach the next size up or down. So that's a nice little hack, more for offshore use of paternoster rigs, where you're going to be wanting to chop and change your weights. And now for the third hack, and this is a good one. What happens when, for example, a mackerel or a shark bites your hook off, bites it off too short here again, and you can't tie another rig, or sometimes might even bite your knot. So all you're getting basically is your leader back. So now I'm left with a shorter piece of leader, because this is where my leader starts right here. That's the doubled line there, the braid, and there's my Albright knot. So that was originally my leader with the rig down here. So if I want to retie a dropper loop, I can't really tie one because I don't have enough line left. Or you'll only have a short piece of leader, and that's not good if you're going to rub against structure or something like that. That's why we have these leaders a little bit longer. But With this hack, it's so much easier. You don't have to go back in and re-rig your bimini, your Albright, and a whole new leader and your new dropper. So if you're left with this little piece of leader, but it's still long enough for rubbing against things, all you need to do is just grab another piece of line, the length of your dropper, and then length to the hook. From there, just allow a bit extra. So what we do is we just grab this piece of line now. I'm going to fold that over. So I'm just going to hold this here. And what we do is we do an Albright knot, like how we attach our double line to our leader. So what we're doing is we're just laying that on top, pinching it down under those fingers, then coming back up around all those lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd normally do 10 or 12 with lighter lines, but this heavier line doesn't need to be as much. Then we just come back up through the loop from behind and we pull it all up tight, give it a wet, pull the tag at the same time, pull it up really tight, there we go. Snip off the tag, so you've only got a few millimeters hanging out, and there we have our new dropper rig. And the best thing about this is, if you look at that, the toe point where the rod's pulling it from, where both of these lines come out, they both lay the same way as this leader. There's not one kinked back coming the opposite direction. So when a fish gets on that, it pulls nice and straight with the main line. So you don't have to worry about it snapping off or anything like that. So all we do now, tie our hook on there, tie our loop on there to attach our sinkers, and we're away. A really quick and easy way to get back in the water without retying the rest of the rig, and we've still got a nice little bit of leader left. If you're new to the Paternoster rig, make sure you check out our video on how to tie it from scratch. It's the perfect foundation for these hacks. Also, if you're fishing around heavy structure or looking for something more versatile, be sure to watch our video on the best rigs for fishing around structure.